Good evening and welcome to Growing Garden City. We are your hosts, Janine Radke and Shelby Hanneman. Ken is a little under the weather, so he is off tonight.
Thank you for joining us today. Today is Sunday, August 9th. Please take the time to share the show, start a watch party, participate in the live chat, and make sure you guys smash that like button.
Shelby and I are happy to answer any questions or relay them to our guests this evening. So Growing Garden City is a weekly podcast that shares information about all things Garden City. If you'd like to come on the show, highlight your business, nonprofit organization, or a community event, please send a direct message to us on our Facebook page or reach out to Shelby or I directly.
Find Growing Garden City and other back home media content on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and of course on backhomemedia.com.
We've expanded a lot of places that you can find us now. So Growing Garden City is the best source in Southwest Kansas to promote or showcase your business, reaching over 20,000 people weekly. Please send a direct message to us on our Facebook page. Again, you can reach out to us on different packages that might be best suited for your needs. So we have a great show tonight.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So on tonight's show, we are going to be welcoming Melissa Dougherty-O'Hara, planner with Neighborhood Development Services, and Dr. Pamela Stewart with Buffalo Plains Health Center. So, So Janine, how was your day today?
Today has been a good day. It's been just kind of an all-around strange week. How's your day been?
My day was really good, really good. This last week, I actually got my daughters and I some roller skates. Shout out to my mom for helping with that. And so the girls and I have been roller skating this week, and it's been a lot of fun. So I've been getting out, getting some exercise, and getting out of the house and going around town and getting some roller skating. And so,
awesome.
So you said your week was kind of weird. So tell me about that. Can you break that down a little bit for me?
Our family has been quarantined since last Friday. My husband, Mike, tested positive, Dodge City, which is kind of, our testing went a little bit wonky, kind of strange thing. He tested negative on a rapid retest, response test, and positive on the send-off one, for being COVID positive. So we were automatically quarantined. Then started showing signs on Saturday, light ones. And then Monday got a little bit worse. But then when my test came back after my test on Monday in Finney County, mine tested negative, which is really strange because I've had all of the same symptoms that he is. So if they've told me to act like it's positive, you come back and have it retested. And I think I'll pass on the retesting. We're still quarantined all around. So we'll be this way until next Friday.
Well, that's
it's been
nice.
Interesting.
So I guess let me just ask you, so you said that you are feeling some symptoms?
Yeah,
I've had. You have been having some symptoms?
I've had.
Do you care if I ask?
In my chest. Feel like somebody's standing on me. Achy, lethargic. Today's been a really good day, but it's a really strange feeling when you get up and you walk from the living room to the kitchen, and it's about 20 feet, and you're tired by the time you get back. It's just a strange feeling, or even just getting dressed and moving out. So I have my trusty cough drops. I've took a nap before we came, so I'm not a bit zombie tonight. And it's been interesting. It's a strange virus. And the only difference that Mike has had is he had the fever.
Interesting. And what about your daughters? Have they had any issues?
No, they are fine. But they pretty much stay in their rooms, or they're together in one of their rooms, or out on the front porch or in the backyard. So they've tried to stay away from us as much as possible. And so
So it's kind of a good
like,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I follow you. Well, hey, I really appreciate you sharing that. And I know our prayers go out to you guys, and hopefully you guys can, have a speedy recovery and everything. So thanks a lot for sharing that. I know that.
Yeah. I don't think it's something that anybody should be embarrassed about or anything like that. We wear our masks. We do the hand washing. We've done the hand sanitizing. It's, all it takes is one slip up. And, that's all it really takes, is being somewhere one time, or one slip up of not having a mask or something like that. And it can happen. So it's really kind of just a strange experience, but and I don't know how to explain it, because it's like the flu, but it's not like the flu. It's definitely not. But I will be glad when we can at least, like, go for a drive or something, just get out of the house a little bit.
Right.
Before today, we didn't even feel like leaving the house. So
yeah,
I'd say that's a big thing. And if it wasn't for, I'm very appreciative to our Growing Garden City family and our Dark Horse Slate family for providing meals and just really taking care of us the last week. We are incredibly humbled and blessed.
That's awesome. Yeah. So thanks to anybody who's listening out there who helped with meals. That was awesome.
Yes, so it very much helped us.
So what do we got going on tonight?
So our first guest, let's go ahead and get started with this. Our first guest tonight is Melissa Dougherty-O'Hara. She's a planner and neighborhood development services for the City of Garden City, City of Holcomb, and Finney County. So she's going to talk to us a little bit about the census tonight.
Very cool.
Hey, Melissa, how are you?
Good. How are you guys tonight?
Doing wonderful.
Doing Great. Good. So you are a planner, a neighborhood coordinator, neighborhood development services. You've got like this long title. Yeah. So what does that actually mean?
Yeah. So we do the planning. So we do long-term, short-term, your building permits, inspections, neighborhood planning. We do stuff with the downtown vision, economic development. We do the short-sighted and long-sighted style of planning and development within the City of Garden City. And then we contract with City of Holcomb and Finney County. So we have all three jurisdictions. We're one of the more unique departments for the city that actually handles three different jurisdictions, all in Finney County. So very interesting. We have a lot of fun here.
Yeah. So I imagine you do have a lot of requests coming from all over the place, and lots of different things that go along with that. How long have you been doing that?
So I've worked here within the City of Garden City for 2.5 years. And then I worked in planning out in Central Illinois for 13 years. So it's been a minute. It seems like yesterday sometimes when you just start a career, but I'm probably 15, 17 years deep into it by now. And it's one of the greatest careers because it's so versatile and you do so many different things from the day to day. I've had the pleasure of going out and looking at sewer infrastructure lines, going to see what new businesses are in town, and then doing fun things like public outreach and things with the census. So I get to do it all, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is how did you end up getting involved with the census? So you've kind of been the one that's been spearheading everything going along with that. So how did that fall into your lap?
So census data is really important to planners, economic developers, us as a municipality. That data is used, if not on a daily basis, a weekly basis. So it's really important that we make sure that everybody responds to the census, because that data not only helps decide how we're represented, not only in Washington, D.C., but out in Topeka. And so when we're talking about economic development and getting infrastructure and roads for our area, we want to make sure that everybody's counted so they know that, one, people are living out here. Yes, there is something west of Dodge. I'd say we're the hub of Southwest Kansas.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
And not only things like infrastructure and economic development, but education and health. When businesses are trying to locate in our area, they look at our housing data, how many people are living here. There's specific age ranges of not only their target service group, but also they use the data to help determine if they're even going to have a workforce here to work in their shops or stores. So it's really important to answer the survey for each and every household. I like to say it's 10 minutes of your time changes the future of our community for the next 10 years, because the decennial census is done only every 10 years. So we have one time once to get it right.
Yeah, and in the past, we haven't been well represented, it doesn't sound like, for our area. It sounds like we've been severely undercounted.
We did have we did have an undercount in 2010. My department each year has an estimate that we come up with. And when we compared that number in 2010 with what the census did, we were off by about 3,000 people. So knowing that we had that undercount the last time, we've worked with our state Census Bureau office to reiterate the importance that, we need their support to be out here counting our community and Southwest Kansas in general. But we know we have about 31,200 some people living here, and we want to make sure that our estimate matches what we're getting for those census results, because on average within Garden City, in 10 years, when we miss out on one household, that's approximately $59,000 in healthcare funding, education funding, potential dollars that we lose for infrastructure, the ability to obtain grants. A lot of our nonprofits use this data to prove the need in our community. So if we have a group of individuals living within our community that aren't represented within census data, it's very hard for us to then go and get grant funding to show the need that we have people living in our community that need this funding. So it seems kind of esoteric out here, like, I fill out the census, they're not going to use it for anything. We use it for lots of things.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, one of the great things, it's one of the easiest ways to actively participate in the community. Like I said, it's literally 10 minutes. If it's just you as an individual, it will probably only take you 3 to 5 minutes to fill out the survey online, and you can do it on your phone. So it's really super simple. Even if you call into the phone numbers, again, that only takes maybe 5 to 7 minutes if it's just one person. I did it on my phone, and it took for me and my husband 7 minutes. So they ask there's only 10 questions that they ask you. They're very simple. And all the data gets aggregated at a point that they couldn't individually come back and find you. So if I reported that I had purple hair, and that was one of the questions they asked, they aggregated at a level that nobody could come in and find the one person with purple hair in my neighborhood. So it's very secure and safe data that gets captured and can't be shared among agencies. Even me as a planner wanting to go in and find out certain statistics, I have to use the same portal and the same techniques to get data that everybody else does, that you as a citizen could go in and retrieve. So there's no special way to retrieve the data, and it's illegal to share the data across agencies like the FBI or CIA as well, or police departments can't not get specialized data from the census. So it's very safe and secure data.
Yeah, I know that we have such a diverse community. And I know that one of the concerns with some people that may be here that have been here for a long period of time that are, you've either gone through the DACA program or, they're still working with family members on trying to get their status and being here. I know that's been a concern with some of them, and filling that out and making sure that they were going to be safe in those processes. And so that information of, that data can't be shared. They can't just kind of go down to certain people, hopefully will help make some of them feel a little bit more secure with that as well.
One of the things that we have worked with is created a Garden City Complete Count committee, and we have done a great job of reaching out to various partners within the community to reach out to what we consider hard to count populations. And sometimes that's people that have just first moved to the United States and have never done a census before. Sometimes it's people who speak English as a second language. Sometimes it's people experiencing homelessness. If you're low income or if you're working 2 jobs, the last thing I want to do, I know for sure when I get home at night is like, oh, I have to answer a question or a survey about what's going on in my house. Like, I've got too much to do, but really it's those hard to count populations that we need that data the most, because typically there are tons of resources out there to help them within our community. And so we have partnered with various community members to outreach to people who may traditionally not have responded in years past.
So do we, is it in?
Can you, sorry, Janine.
No, go ahead.
So can you talk a little bit about what are the percentages of the returns so far with the census, and is it high, low, and maybe why it is?
We were really excited that we had gotten kicked off for the first time ever in census history since 1790.
Wow, that's a big claim.
It's been going on for a very long time here in the United States. And worldwide, we have one of the longest running census enumeration. Yeah, censi in the world. So that's kind of exciting to know that you're just a part of that, and literally all you have to do is take 10 minutes of your time.
That is cool.
So our response rates, we got kicked off really strong because we do have that online response rate. And so in Finney County, we're sitting at about 57.3%. Yeah, great. You have the graphic. So this is, if you Google census response rates, this is a web accessed website that they have that you can go in and check to see how well we're doing in the county. So there's different geographies in which the census data captures data. And one way they aggregate it is by census tract. So that is a more zoomed in look at our county, so that if you can see the map here, so the part to the east, if it's in that tannish brown color, that's actually where we're having trouble getting response rates. And then we've got a part to the southwest as well, where hasn't been a super awesome response rate. So we're really working to target those areas to encourage people to continue to fill out the census. Due to COVID, things have changed a little in that response time. We've been very happy to have an extended response rate time, which has been very exciting. However, at the same time, we haven't been able to do a lot of community outreach events because of COVID. The U.S. Census Bureau did extend it to October 31st. Then there was an executive order that just went through last week that unfortunately now requires the U.S. Census Bureau to cease all self-response and census enumeration by September 30th. So I think I just got an email from our state reps yesterday. We're like down to 52 days. So you will see a lot of census activity going on. And that's why it's critical that, and I'm very thankful that I am able to speak with you guys tonight to spread the word about the census and how urgent it is. So let's get this next month and a half wrapped up. We can do it. We're looking to have a higher percentage rate, near that 86%, and make sure that we get everybody counted. And If you're like me, who hates having people knock on your door, respond online or by phone. Then you don't have to have a census enumerator knock on your door. Nobody has to come see you, as long as you report.
Very cool.
Yeah. Is the report are the questions in different languages or?
Yeah. So you can respond to the census in multiple languages. The Census Bureau, through their website, offers 12 different languages, including English, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, Tagalog, Polish, Arabic, I think I said Vietnamese, Mandarin Chinese, to respond. And then there are over 30 some language guides that you can go search out on the internet to help you if you had a question about, like, who do I report in my household? They can provide you with responses on how to answer that. So we know here that we have a large Latino population, and so we do a lot of our materials in English and Spanish. And we've been trying to coordinate with various groups throughout the community, because we know those aren't our two primary groups, to get as much stuff translated as possible, so that multiple people in their native language can read the materials and understand the importance of why they need to fill out the survey.
Yeah, that's a lot of great information to have. So where can somebody go to fill out the survey? Where do they need to go?
They need to go to my2020census.gov. They don't need a special code or anything. They only need their address and then 10 minutes of their time.
Very cool.
Awesome. So how long
thank
does
you. Go ahead, Janine. Sorry.
Sorry. My internet's been kind of wonky, so I know I freezed here a little bit, so we might be talking over each other a little bit. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So how long does it usually take for you to get this information back? Once the census is all in and done, when will the community actually see the effects of that?
So the first numbers that come out typically are total population, and then they'll do a breakdown across geographies, and sometimes we'll get some age bracket data done, and they'll maybe provide us with some racial ethnicity breakdowns, and we typically won't get that back to end of 2021, early 2022. So they go in and scrub the data, aggregate it, and package it so that we can access it. But we'll have a year's delayed time nearly in getting that data back.
Yeah, well, a lot can happen in that year's time, and we can be looking at a lot of opportunities past that point too. So that data is just so important. So if somebody wanted to get involved, either with sitting on a committee or helping collect census data, what would they need to do?
So they are still looking for census enumerators, and those are the people that knock on the door. Just go to census.gov. You can fill out an application there. The trainings are online as last reported to us. So you will need to have internet access or use a computer at the library to get that training, but they are still hiring in our area, and you just have to work a minimum of I believe it's 10 hours a week, and you can work up to 40 hours a week. So if you've got time over the next month and a half and can get in and get your training done, we'd love to have you come and help us knock on some doors, because if somebody is knocking at my door, a friendly face is always nice to open the door to versus some stranger. And then we do have the Complete Count Committee, and you can coordinate that through me. So you can reach me at the city offices at 276-1170. We have a group that meets monthly. We'll only have 2 more times to meet since it's ending next month. But anytime you see us, get on the city's webpage. If you haven't liked the City of Garden City webpage just yet, please do so. We put out census notifications all the time. If you don't live in the city, go onto the Finney County social media page through their website, Finney County's Facebook page, like their page. They're putting out materials as well. And it's as easy as sharing a post and letting your friends know that, hey, I filled out my census. Did you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I saw you at Food Truck Friday, and I appreciate you being out there. I saw your little table, and I was like, all right, somebody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So that was very cool.
Yeah, we'll be out there in September at Food Truck Friday as well. So if you have a question or you haven't filled out the survey just yet, come show me that you've done it on your phone. And we're typically giving out free water. We've got tons of little goodies to give out. Or if you have questions about one of the responses, we can be there to assist you. And Finney County Library is also a great resource if you need help with your survey, or Genesis Health Center. And they are doing it in multiple languages. So if you speak Spanish or Vietnamese and call in and have a question, they typically have a translator available for you to call.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for that information.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, thank you so much for the information. Appreciate it. I think maybe we'll have you back on next month before the final before the deadline, I guess to say.
Great.
Appreciate it. So anybody needs to follow up with us, if they need to get in contact with Melissa, we can pass that along to her.
Thanks for coming on, Melissa. Thanks for stepping in there a little bit more, Shelby, because the cough kind of started going. So
yeah, I saw you coughing over there. I'm feeling for you. For you.
Hey, it is what it is, and it's a beautiful day, and I get to be part of this evening, so it's all good.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying Growing Garden City and what we got going on here. So why don't we go ahead and bring our next guest on? Our second guest tonight is Dr. Pamela Stewart.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And yes, I did do my census.
Hi, Dr. Stewart.
All right, so
Hi.
You did do your census. That's
Absolutely.
Good. Perfect.
That's a good thing. So, tell us a little bit about the Buffalo Plains. Let's back up for a minute. You have quite a story about how you became a doctor. So, how did you start with your career and get to this point?
Well, that is a long story. I became a doctor a little later in life. I did graduate work in chemistry first, and then decided that my passions were more in the medical field and dealing with people than sitting in a laboratory. So I went into medicine and graduated from the University of Kansas in 1997. And then I did residency, finished my residency in UTMB, which is in Galveston, Texas. And then found an opportunity here in Garden City and came to Garden City, which I'm originally from Independence, Missouri. So I was not a Kansasite until I was actually in graduate school.
Yeah, well, we're glad and we're blessed to have you here.
Well, thank you. I feel very blessed to be in Garden City and have enjoyed making it my home for the last almost 20 years.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit about the health center now.
So when I came to Garden City, I was a partner at Plaza Medical until 2013. Mid-year, I left Plaza Medical because I was pursuing more time in Honduras, where I had been doing some care at a clinic there for since I got here, for the 13 years prior to that. About every 6 months, I went on a mission trip there. And then opportunities came around that I would be taking medical students from KU Med for a month-long rotation that they can do in the first year. So I had to choose, because you can't really stay a partner in practice and be gone for a long period of time. So I went ahead and chose to devote more of my time to Honduras. And so for the last 6 years, I have actually been working what's called locums around the country to support my Honduras habit, so to speak. And now that chapter of my life has come to an end, and I came back to Garden City to work and opened a clinic that is a little different model. Felt like a lot of people have retired and moved on, and we always are in need of primary care doctors around the area. And this is a little different model. It's a direct primary care model, which does not involve insurance companies. We are a membership-based type of model of healthcare, believing that putting the patient and the doctor back together as the primary focus can help individuals have better healthcare outcomes. And that's the primary purpose of going with a DPC model. We have 30 to 60-minute appointments, usually same day or next day. Individuals can have access through text, email, and that's pretty much 24/7. So
Wow.
you don't have barriers to coming in because you have unlimited visits because of your membership. And that allows you not to wait. You know, some people are like, well, I've got to make that copay again. I think I'll wait a little bit longer. And then their issue sometimes becomes more of a problem. Whereas with this model, you're a member, so it's unlimited access. You say, oh, it hurts here. Let me get a hold of them and find out, you know, do I need to do something now? Do I need to come in now or what? And so outcomes, obviously, in that scenario are better. The model is not going to fit everyone's needs, but it's been around for over 20 years in the Southeast, particularly. And in Wichita, we have a couple of the premier folks that have been in it, really kind of the movers and shakers, so to speak. Dr. Josh Umber there started about 12 years ago, I believe. And he's helped over 800 physicians go into this model. So there's a lot of people in Kansas, across Kansas, that are a lot of physicians that have gone to this model of healthcare.
That's really interesting, and I think that it's good to have, you know, different options available for people. Like you said, there are some people where this model won't work for them, but there may be others that it would be a good benefit. So talking in regards to that, can you speak a little bit about maybe your philosophy of medicine and how you go about practicing medicine for your patients?
Sure. I believe in whole health, and I like to help people that are in that path of healthcare, I should say, or health thinking. But I do everything. I mean, the individuals that aren't interested in making a lot of changes in their lifestyle, I can also be their physician. It's lots of the rewards happen when people recognize something that they can change and take control of, because they feel better about it, that they're taking control of their health and they're making some changes and seeing some better outcomes, feeling better, having more energy, and those types of things. And certainly like to use the entire being, not just one aspect of science, but the whole being. And we have, in medicine, we have found more and more scientific data to support, you know, the person that is more stressed has more issues. Those are actually physiologic changes that now with technology we're able to actually measure some of those things. People that meditate can bring down their blood pressure, can bring down their heart rates, can decrease their stress. We can measure some of those chemicals now. We can see the brain activity with different scans. And some of those studies are being done now to look at the whole person. It's not just take this pill and fix it or try to control it, but there's a lot of other options available in diet, lifestyle, thinking, lots of options.
So when you look at like meditation, and I saw on your Facebook page there was a video on Tai Chi, just looking at some of those different holistic things that people can do. Do you guys provide resources for people to look at? Do you have the ability to teach them how to do those things, or how does that work?
Absolutely. I have a number of resources, and of course, I just opened June 22nd, so it's still a work in progress.
Sure.
And I hope in the future that we'll be doing some of those things as group activities here at the clinic. But yes, we have resources for those that we can steer people to them. I have training in some of those things, and I can help, with some of the nuances that you may not get from just watching a video. There's plenty of people that I try to recruit and, engage them into interactions with patients. And but now with the media and technology, it's much more accessible for all of these kinds of resources. And the nice thing is that because I do have a lot of training in medicine and in some of these other areas, I can kind of help point you into things that are more reliable than others. For instance, vitamins and supplements and such. There are some resources out there that, that I follow to make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting in the pill, since it's not really regulated in the United States. So.
Yeah. So looking at that, let's back up a little bit, because you actually had, what was your first degree in? Was it chemistry?
Correct.
So can you tell us a little bit about that and kind of how it's influenced your medical practice now?
Well, I've kind of been a little bit of a chemistry nerd since I can remember. So I look at things very much on an anatomical level or atomical level. Everything boils down to atoms and the electrical fields around atoms and their interactions. And so everything that I think about and the way I think about things kind of boils down to that we're in contact with everything that exists basically in our environment, just because of those interactions with atoms and on molecular levels. So that it influences me a lot when I think through any kind of problem or interaction. It's kind of just there. It's not it's not even something that I think about. It's just a part of me.
Wow. So on that topic of thinking about how to solve problems, and I want to give like a hypothetical, and I know that sometimes that's not good, but I think this is a hypothetical that a lot of people who are listening may be able to identify with. There's a lot of times where I hear stories, and I have a personal story too, of people who are sick on a constant basis. They're having problems over and over again. They go to the doctor, they try to get on medication, they try to get some help, and nothing's working for them. And it's just a miss after miss after miss. They go to specialists and they keep having onset of problems. Is there anything that you would point people to, or talk maybe about how your clinic might be able to benefit somebody in that situation?
So that's always a very difficult situation. And the number one thing that I try to stress to people, we don't have all the answers. And that's something that our society doesn't like to hear. And also, there are many things that look like something kind of vaguely. And unfortunately, disease is a continuum. And many diseases are not like a strep throat. You come in, you go, I got a sore throat, I ache all over, I got pus back there, my lymph nodes are sore. Yeah, you got strep throat. That's easy, right?
Right.
And we can fix it. We like that even better. But somebody who comes in with just some vague complaints, there's a whole list of things that are possible. And many of those things do not develop in such a way that you can just do a test right now and say, oh, well, that's what it was. Sometimes it actually takes years to diagnose something. And unfortunately, there are many people that, you get tests at one time in the process of this or the continuum of this disease that are suggestive but not diagnostic. And unfortunately, there's a number of those. And then as you go on, eventually, the last doctor that sees you is the hero because you've had it long enough. You've had so many doctors that have tested everything. And now that last zebra that you're looking for, that's it.
Yeah.
And in the US, right? Hoof beats are horses.
Yeah.
We sometimes have to look for zebras, and that's what we call them. But unfortunately, because we don't have the Star Trek scanner that just goes, tink, yep, that's it. Here, we'll fix it. There are, unfortunately, many of those things, and we're seeing more and more, it seems like, autoimmune problems and some of these other things that we don't have good, yes, swab it, test it, that's what it is. And so people are very frustrated, physicians are very frustrated. And to complicate the whole issue is that unfortunately physicians are under the gun to push people through because they have to pay their overhead. And in order to do that, they have to really push people through to get the insurance companies in 3 to 6 months to maybe pay you. And that's become, I think, one of the major problems is I hear this frequently in the past, I don't feel like my doctor listened to me. I didn't have time. They came in, they saw me for 3 minutes and walked out. I hear that. I've heard that a lot over the years. And I think that is a detriment to the patient. And I know most doctors don't like that pressure either because they went into medicine too to help people. And that takes time. It takes a relationship. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
It really does. I mean, I like the idea, and I've been familiar with the idea of what you're doing, and so I would say my personal story is similar in the sense of the last place that we went was the hero, and thankfully that was the case, but there was there was lasting damage, there was lasting consequences for doctors practicing. And that's, so I would encourage people to reach out to you because I know we got a lot of help in that same situation where we were able to spend quality time with the doctor, ask good questions, actually figure out what a good game plan is and work on a long-term basis with them. So good information.
I think that really is key to good healthcare is being able to have that time and that interaction. And so stay in business.
Yeah, for sure. You can show you show that it's a service that's valuable, and so right. in that it does the other stuff that you've been doing your whole career is really what gives that value to what you're doing now.
Yeah. So you have kind of a unique location. You are in downtown. Can you talk a little bit about, which it's a really cool location to have, but can you talk a little bit about why you picked that area?
Well, I was very excited to be down the street from where I was because Plaza, of course, is on Main Street also. But I've always loved Main Streets in smaller communities because I think that they can be the heart of a community. They can bring people together of various backgrounds. I think that's it has a special feel to it in a downtown area. And I feel really fortunate that this space was made available to me. And I had a lot of roadblocks in some of the other places I had looked at. And so it just seemed like this was meant to be. So I was very excited when it was available. I grew up in Independence, Missouri, like I mentioned, and what we called uptown, because downtown was Kansas City. But what we called uptown is where Harry Truman and Bess Truman used to walk all the time. And of course, Bess was still alive when I was around. And so they would walk around, or she would walk around the square. I say they because it was really cute. They had the Secret Service, like 10 paces behind. but
there's no privacy at that point.
Yeah, right. But the downtown, what we called uptown, was just kind of a special place, and people would just kind of come, and the special stores that were there, they were homegrown. And so it's community people. You're going there and you're part of a community. It's part of a family, so to speak. And it has that kind of environment and that kind of flavor to it. And I think that, translating that into a healing environment, you want that kind of family, community, supportive environment for people's health also.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. Like you said, Plaza was down the street, but you guys are just really kind of in the heart of it. And I just think it's just a cool area to be part of that family piece, like you said.
And I was fortunate to have banners Saturday, so that was really a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a good turnout? Was there a lot of people that came by?
Quite a few, yes. I was
That's
very,
cool.
very happy with it.
Very
And
cool.
very special banner by a lady, because it was of a nurse who had the world, had the mask on, of course, and the world surrounded by some hair and hands coming up behind the head. And it was just, and then praying hands in front. It was really very, very unique. It was quite the lovely painting.
Wow, that's really neat. Yeah. So one of the things too, okay, so you don't bill people's insurance.
Correct. We don't take
How
insurance.
does
We have a monthly membership.
how does that work? So how does somebody find out a little bit more about that to be able to sign up to be able to see you at the health center?
So we have a website, and that gives some information, or you can come in for a free 30-minute appointment where I will explain to you about what we offer. We do some lab type work in-house, which is included in the membership for the most part. We have a pharmacy with deeply discounted prices. Not every drug known to mankind, of course. There's a lot of esoteric, very expensive items out there that are just not available. If somebody is on a lot of really high dollar medicines, oftentimes, DPC, as far as the medications go, is not going to be the best thing for them.
Sure.
Well, I draw blood here, and LabCorp does the evaluation of that. They pick up our blood to do that. Those, again, oftentimes are much less than even your copays. So it's not that we don't expect people to have insurance, because we do.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be covered for going to the hospital. You want to be covered for heart attack, or concern for a heart attack or stroke or car wreck, or break your bones, whatever. For those emergencies, you do need insurance. It's very helpful in those cases. But and the data has supported about 80 to 90% of what people need in healthcare is handled in a primary care office. And I do most of those things. I do the skin exam. I take off your little skin tags, or concerning lesions, I can take those off. Sew up your lacerations, as long as they're not too bad that you need to go to the hospital for. So it's, those are the things, basic things that are offered. And those are the things that, I talk about when people come in for their 30-minute appointment. They tell me kind of what their health is and what their expectations are. And then I talk to them about how I might fit into that scenario for them to reach their health goals.
I like the idea appointment at the beginning, just to be able to explain what you provide, and see how you can meet those goals that people have, because you don't normally get that when you go to a doctor to begin with. You don't normally get that 30-minute appointment just to be able to sit down. And so that being able to take that time with you is actually, is such a valuable piece that I think people will really like. So
I think it's important, because they have to feel comfortable with me also.
Sure.
And so that's a really important thing for me as a physician. I want them to feel like they have the right doctor, and I want to feel like that I can play a part in their healthcare.
Right. So how many people work in your office?
Well, me. During the summer, I had some help, getting open and such. I had someone that was helping, who fortunately was bilingual, because I also speak Spanish and English. But he's gone back to K-State. I do have an LPN working with me right now, but she's going to be continuing with her RN, so she's not going to have a lot of availability. So I'm actually looking for help right now. Preferably bilingual, because it's a little hard for me to be everywhere. But because we don't have the massive overhead of having to bill or pre-authorize or do any of those kinds of things, then I don't need an office full of 4 or 5 other people in order to take care of the patients. I do need somebody to answer the phone. That's kind of important. And to help people navigate, getting in and getting appointments scheduled, that kind of thing. So, but
Sure,
I would like to have a
absolutely.
nurse that could do most of that, because unlike a traditional office, we're not going to have 15, 20 people, because we're not trying to push through those 6 people an hour. So people are going to come in a more relaxed environment. So there'll be maybe 1 or 2 people at a time, but usually not even that, because they're not going to overlap too much usually. So.
Yeah. So how's the response been so far? Like you said, you just opened in June. I know you had your ribbon cutting with the chamber on the 30th. How's that all been going? How's it been going with business, people coming in?
It's slow, but that's not unexpected. It is a new and different concept, and so people aren't jumping in to see, and plus getting the word out. It's been done, like I said, for the last 20 years, right? And most physician offices that have opened agree that doing a whole lot of expensive advertising doesn't really reach the people. That it's going to be mostly word of mouth and small intimate groups that are going to be the ones that say, hey, go check this out, it might work for you. And we limit our practices in the direct primary care model to 600 to 1,000 patients, rather than the 3,000 to 4,000 patients that you have to have in an insurance model. And that also allows us to have more of that care. But it can be kind of a slow process of educating people, and also educating employers, which employers can really benefit, oftentimes cut their costs, which has been shown in a number of practices, well, many practices, from 30 to 60% of their healthcare dollars actually can be freed up by incorporating a DPC along with the other insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said something earlier about really working to be able to build that relationship with people. And I think that a lot of people will find that valuable. So it's just going to be a matter of getting the word out.
Right. It is. And it's a slow process to start with. And, honestly, you don't want 600 people walking in the door. Because then, again, you don't have that 30-minute, time to really give to them. So, but you also need more than, 4 or 5. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can people find you?
The address?
Address, phone number, website?
So, all of the above. 214 North Main Street. I'm right next to Roots, or right across the street from the Flat Mountain Brewery. Used to be the bike shop. And on the website, it's www.buffaloplainsmd.care. And my phone number to the office is 620-260-9850. Leave us a message if we don't answer.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
We really appreciate you taking the time to be here tonight, and we'll do our part to get your information out there as well. But thank you for, bringing this model and looking at things in just a bit of a different way than what we have. And I think, like I said, I think that we'll have a lot of people that find that valuable and will be coming to see you. So,
and I'll look forward to seeing them and helping them on their health journey.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on this evening. Appreciate it.
So, Shelby, I have a question for you.
All right,
mentioned earlier that you were part of the Growing Garden City family and that you were part of Back Home Media, but we never got to talk about what you actually do for us. So what do you do?
Well, what I do is my main job is my own company, which is Focus Matters Technology. So really, I provide IT support. That's my main lane, I guess to say. But back home itself, we have all kinds of services and sales and programs available. These services can range anywhere from if you want to start a podcast, if you have a business and you're wanting to do some social media marketing, need a website built, need just services at your office, you need an extra hand to do a project in the office. We have a bunch of different people in the organization who are available to help with different skill sets. And so, we're really just looking for people out there who are interested in, getting involved and needing help to grow their business.
Awesome. Yeah, I know you have a lot of talent to share with us, and we're very blessed to have you here with us, Shelby. So thank you very much for coming on tonight. It's been it's fun. You and I haven't been able to host a show together, so this is something different.
Yeah, I'm still a little on the nervous side, but it's all right. It's been a good show, and I'm pretty relaxed when it comes to stuff like this. And I enjoy it. I think it's important to get out in front of people and spread good information. Spread good information, positive information about the things that are going on in the community, because there are good things going on in the community. And so we thank our guests tonight. Melissa Dougherty-O'Hara with the City of Garden City and representing the Census, and then for Dr. Stewart to come on and talk to us about her new clinic downtown and that new direct care model that she's promoting. And so we really thank them for coming on. We thank everybody for showing up and watching. This is a cool platform to be on. You guys don't have to go anywhere to watch it. You just have to pull your phone out or get on your computer. And I have an Apple TV too, and you can there's an app for the Apple TV too where you can watch this. You can watch Facebook stuff on the Apple TV too, which I thought was kind of cool. But anyway,
yeah, you're gonna have to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, I can show you how to do that. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So what do we got going on next week, Janine?
Next week we have J&J Autoplex and Approved Auto Sales. They have their new location. So we're excited about them coming on. During this next week, make sure you check out our backhomemedia.com website and check out the shows, program services that we have on there. And make sure that you are checking out some of those other podcasts. We have a lot of great podcasts that are really interesting and fun to listen to and for your different interests. And that's all we have for you tonight. Keep growing Garden City.
We'll see you next.
Well, I don't think it. I thought it. That's different. I said what I said and I meant it. Or lament.